Oh my god, I saw Joker today. I know, right? Joaquin Phoenix's Joker came out today, so I made sure I saw the first session this morning so I could make this spoiler review while the movie's still fresh. So fresh! So first of all, if you're new to my channel, you may not know, I'm basically a noob in the world of comic books and DC and all this stuff, but I've obviously gotten into it very much so in the last year. For those who aren't new to my channel, you'll probably realize I'm a bit more of a DC guy than I am a Marvel guy. I mean, many factors led to me getting into the world of comics. I had this weird fascination with the Joker. So a friend of mine basically had a dress-up party and I showed up as my own version of the Joker. I pretty much just copied Heath Ledger's face paint and just did my own clothing and things like that. After wearing that Joker face paint, I became obsessed with the Joker. It was really bizarre. Anyway, I'm wasting time rambling, so let's talk about Joker. This is Joker, spoiler review. Let's do this. Alright, so before we get started, just giving you a warning now. I try not to swear in my videos anymore, but this was an adult movie, so I might swear in this video. Just giving you a warning and a heads up now. Secondly, this is a spoiler review, so there will be spoilers. So if you haven't seen this, put it on your to-do list and we'll come back to it after you've seen the movie. Now, there's a lot of things I want to talk about, so I'm going to try to rush through them as quick as I can so this video doesn't go for 500 days. First thing is, the thing that I really found fascinating was the fact that his laughing was actually a condition. I found that very interesting, that scene where he's on the bus and he gives the lady the card, because in the beginning when he's laughing uncontrollably while he's at the psychiatrist, it's like, what is going on? This guy is crazy, right? And then when he has that scene with the card, I was like, that's quite interesting. So yeah, I found that very interesting. I guess the next thing I want to talk about is the subway scene. So obviously the subway shooting was the first scene where he lost the plot a little bit and shot people. Shot those three guys, which obviously becomes a big part of the storyline. Did you have sympathy for Joker or for the three guys? Because I don't know about you, but I did not care that he shot those guys. I just didn't care. And we're going to talk a little bit later maybe about some of the whole gun violence controversy that's been sparked due to this movie. But I mean, in that scene, obviously he's getting bullied by these three absolute wankers. And yeah, like, he shoots the first one. And look, I understand in real life, it's not the right thing to do, right? But when it's a movie, all right? We're living in imagination land here. When he decides to just be like, I'm gonna shoot you guys, it was just like that moment where I was just like, yeah, man, show these guys what's up. Like, no one likes a bully, and no, they probably don't deserve to die. But there was that moment where Joker was the hero in that situation, I think. Yeah, no one likes a bully, so we'll just leave it at that. Another big gasping moment for me in the film was his relationship with his neighbor, I guess the girlfriend sort of character in this. In the start it was kind of weird because when they first connected, it was from him in the elevator when she did that, and then he does that like awkwardly. What's a weird thing to do? So when she first kind of smiled and then they sort of get together and start interacting, I was like, that's a weird way to get someone to interact with you by doing that, right? So later in the film, when there's that scene where he's sitting in her apartment, she freaks out like, you're in the wrong apartment, you need to leave. It was weird for me because I was like, why is she talking to him like she doesn't know him? There's that revelation where she was never there with him. That blew my mind. I was like, oh. So yeah, I just really didn't see that coming. Now also there was that key moment in the movie where Joker visits the Wayne house and speaks to Bruce. So in that moment, I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious that it was Bruce, but when he finally said to him, what's your name? And he goes, Bruce. It was a big moment in the film because the bit where Joker reads the letter, Arthur reads the letter about his mum, talking about the affair she had. I kind of missed that bit because I couldn't read the letter really. My eyesight's terrible. And I was like, are they trying to say that Thomas Wayne is Arthur's dad? But yeah, that scene where he talks to Bruce, that was kind of a very big moment, I think, for a lot of fans. I almost reached out to the guy who was 2 seats away from me and be like, I know I don't know you, but what the fuck? It was like, are they trying to make Joker and Batman brothers in this? That's insane! But obviously it wasn't true. The scene where he suffocates her in the bed, I mean, you knew from that moment, you're like, yep, shit's about to get real. right? And it did get real from that moment when he kills his friend. Yeah, the movie sort of really turned it up a notch. Now, here's the thing. When they first released the promotional stuff for this movie, which was quite a long time ago now, of Joaquin Phoenix's face paint and his version of the Joker, I did not dig it at all. I just wasn't down with it. I was like, it's too clown-like, right? But yeah, by the time he really loses the plot, kills his friend, and puts on the makeup, that scene where he's walking to the elevator, getting ready to go to the TV show, like, by that stage, I was all in on that face paint. I was like, yeah, man, you are rocking it. I really dug that, you know? He just had this cool about him. This guy who's so messed up, so crazy, such a weirdo, you know? He had this cool about him in that moment, and I really dug that. So yeah, I'm all good with the face paint and this version of Joker. I got a brain of a wet sultana, so I'm gonna see the movie again this coming weekend with some friends. But yeah, that's most of the stuff that I really remember. I didn't take notes on this, so that's most of the stuff I really want to talk about. But here's some more stuff. Who did it better, Heath or Joaquin? When they first announced that Joaquin Phoenix was going to be the new Joker, a lot of people were like, how's he going to follow up from Heath Ledger, right? Now, when I first heard that Joaquin Phoenix was going to be playing the Joker, I thought to myself, well, if anyone can do a good job, it's going to be Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, he's one of those serious actors. He's one of them crazy actors who'll go above and beyond to really to play a role. Very much like Christian Bale, you know, lost heaps of weight to play this. His body looked totally deformed. He did an amazing job, and you can't deny that. Was he better than Heath though? Here's the thing. Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker is about as good as you can get when it comes to a Batman movie. Heath Ledger had Batman and Christian Bale to bounce off with his version of the Joker. But could Heath have done the same job in this type of movie? Because this movie is about a regular guy who, not really regular, a crazy guy, but you know, just like this misfit, this outcast. I don't know if Heath could have really played this role the same way as Joaquin did. I think this version of the Joker, Joaquin was born to play this role and this version of Joker. So yeah, there really is no right and wrong on whether or not who was the better Joker. It was two very different Jokers and two very different movies. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Joaquin absolutely nailed it, absolutely knocked out of the park in this role. And yeah, I don't know if Heath Ledger would have been the same. I don't think Heath, obviously if he was in this movie, would have played it the same way as he did in Dark Knight. Heath was great in his version of Joker, but for this movie, Joaquin was spot on, perfect. Now, this movie has sparked a lot of controversy in mostly America because of the gun violence and things like that, which I understand. America is a very different place than we are here in Australia. The whole thing is about worrying about people being copycat killers, right? Now, here's the thing with that. If you're going to complain about gun violence when it comes to a movie like this, either don't watch movies, or maybe they just shouldn't be movies. Movies are an escape. You know, we understand this is not reality and things like that. Yes, there's going to be some crazy people out there who have a different perspective on reality, I guess. For people who really have a problem with this, it's just like, just don't watch it, you know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, this is going to inspire copycat killers. Well, here's the thing. Instead of being worried about people who, you know, are misfits and mistreated in this world, you know, doing a copycat of this movie, how about we just concentrate on being nicer to people, you know? Just be nice to people. I mean, that's really what this movie was about. This movie was about an outcast, misfit loner who always felt mistreated by the world, and that's what drove him crazy. I read the new Harleen comic book. Even in that comic book, Joker says this thing about how, I'm gonna butcher this, but he says something along the lines of, everybody, you know, is a monster locked in the cage. You just got to find the right thing to unlock that cage, you know? In the whole Killing Joke story, it's all it takes is one bad day. And look, I understand there's going to be people that you don't like, people that you think are weird, just don't interact with them. There's no need to say bad things to them, just don't interact with that. Just ignore it. There's something that people often say to me, Simon, you're too nice. And it's just like, what is that? You know, what is that? Do you want me to be a C word, you know? I say that word a lot. I'm trying real hard to behave myself here. There's that age-old saying, nice guys finish last, right? Well, you know what? I'm okay with that. The whole point of this is just like, let's just be nicer to people, you know? Maybe that's what this movie is trying to tell you, rather than, you know, that people are crazy. Where to from here? well. I think this movie really just has to stand the test of time on its own. It shouldn't relate to this whole new Robert Pattinson, whatever his name is, the Twilight guy's Batman. Because at the end of the day, this movie could just be not a DC related movie at all. This movie really could have just stood alone as a movie about a guy who went crazy, who happened to paint his face like a clown and call himself Joker. That's how this movie was. It was so different from any other comic related, movie ever, really. And look, by the end of this movie, I was just like, this movie is so good. I love this movie. I love it so much. But before I go, for those who are new to the world of comic books or don't know anything about comic books, but are fascinated by the world of Joker, I'm going to give you a few books that I recommend that are Joker related. I'm a big fan of the Joker. I don't know why. Once you wear that face paint, it's almost like you want to be the Joker. So the first one is Killing Joke, I mentioned. I watched the animation to this. You can watch the animation if you want, but look, I'm going to tell you right now, the comic book is better than the animation. Look, the reason I like DC is because the whole dark and gritty thing. If you like dark and gritty, like me, check out this book, Joker. This is the same team that did Batman Damned, which is, if you heard about the Batman comic with Bat penis in it, yeah, these guys did that, but it's not in this book. This is actually the best thing that I've ever read. In my opinion, this is the favorite book that I have read, is Joker. Check these ones out if you are a big fan of Joker and things like that. So yeah, that's the end of my video. Now before I go, one last thing is, it's not too late. I recently reached 100 subscribers and I'm still running my 100 subs giveaway. So I'll leave a link to that video at the end of this video. So check that out if you want to be in the running for some free stuff. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the movie as much as I did. And yeah, please leave in the comments your thoughts or anything that I missed that you want to talk about. I'm not going to make a video about it, but we can talk about it in the comments. Thank you again for watching. And as always, keep it simple. Until next time.